Now, this article was obviously given as a task to the journalist who wrote this up, and it's fascinating because clearly the objective of the article is still to shield people from this entire Jeffrey Epstein thing. We know this evidence dump is forthcoming. We just got an update on that, as we discussed, and they're trying to dissuade people from caring about it. That's what the headline says. Oh, if you're interested in the Jeffrey Epstein files, that means you're one of them. And also, here's how we're going to describe Jeffrey Epstein. It's ridiculous. Okay, they're playing defense, still protecting criminals who hurt children because they were told to. No ethics, no principles, just bad people. All right, so we got some major updates on the Jeffrey Epstein and JFK file release schedule. So Trump just came out and spoke on the situation specifically. He talked about Pam Bondi, about the Epstein file drop off, the status, when they're going to put the stuff out, JFK, all that stuff. And it's interesting because we also get to see in basically every single case right now, you get to see like regular coverage like this. You know, this is just news, right? Hey, when will these files be released? And what is the president of the United States saying about them? And then you get stuff like this, okay? You can't read the whole thing on my screen, but I'll read it to you. Why MAGA is so obsessed with the Jeffrey Epstein files and so angry at Trump's attorney general. It's like, okay, first of all, why aren't you more obsessed with the Epstein files would be my first response to this article. But we're going to go through it. And it's just in basically every single case right now, I find myself fascinated, absolutely fascinated by the perspectives of the people who are on the left and looking at this stuff. It's really unbelievable. That's why I'm going to show you a few things before we get to the Epstein stuff, demonstrating how far off the deep end these people have gone. And so if you only care about the Epstein stuff, JFK files, it'll probably start around 10 minutes, minute 10 or whatever. So if you need to fast forward, feel free. Or you could go on this journey with us and you can laugh and also marvel at how insane these people are. Okay, who are driving these insane narratives that lead to idiotic articles like the one that we're going to look at. I promise I wouldn't take you on this journey if it wasn't worth it, so buckle up. I don't think I've ever seen a more perfect example to illustrate my point in terms of how I see people right now. Not even how I see people. This is just one of those things. This is objective. This is just what you are, Stacy, person, okay? This is what you are. There's no arguing this, okay? You are exactly what you are pretending to hate. And so like when we're looking at, you know, this, why are they obsessed with Epstein? Or in the story that I've either already covered or I'm going to cover forthcoming about the escalation in the Elon Tesla bombings or the many, many death threats that he's receiving, as well as, you know, the president. It's like, I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand how people can be so easily mind warped, you know, where they have such little self-awareness that they miss the most obvious things in the world. Like, as an example, this woman, Stacy, right here, okay? She says, this white lady totally would have turned into a hero by libs of TikTok and ended up on the Joe Rogan podcast within 3 months of this picture, okay? So again, the white lady, she's obviously referencing this woman who is yelling at this poor black woman at the beginning of what is probably school integration. You know, this is a monstrous picture. Okay. If you forget about this dimwit who posted this, okay, if you actually look at this and imagine you're in the 60s or whenever this is, and you're a black kid who got forced integration. And then this is, you know, you have these people screaming at you, calling you names because you're like, imagine how uncomfortable you'd be. It's horrifying. But guess what, nerds? Okay. What does that have to do with us in 2025? Nothing. Okay. Nothing. There's like, well, let me take that back. But there's nothing about this that represents civil society at all as it relates to people interacting with other races. Okay. Like, so if you're trying to pretend like there is any connection here, like the thing that you're saying is even moderately true. This white lady would have been turned into a hero by libs of TikTok and ended up on the Joe Rogan podcast within 3 months of this picture because she yelled at a black student. This is so idiotic. It's so idiotic that I can't even take it. But watch this. This is Stacy's profile. This is the woman who posted this, okay? Now, what's really important for you to notate right here, A, is that she has 246,000 followers. 246,000 followers. Is that a lot of people? Yes, that's a lot of people, okay? I, alternatively, on X, only have 8,100, okay? There's no way that this person right here is sharing more interesting information than I am. So if you want to go battle back against the influence of lunatics like this, you can go follow my X, where I will post much more intelligent takes. Also, it's just very helpful to me. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I would appreciate it if you would do that. That's all I ask. If you're going to watch my content, I'm just like, look, watch as much as you want. Just please subscribe to the channel. We're going to handshake it. It's on the honor system. But the point that I'm making here, or the reason I brought you here, is because this is her bio, okay? Like, this is the thing that she wants to present to the world as her defining attributes. Like this is the headline of who she is. Hi, I'm Stacey K. I'm a comedian and model from the South, and I don't like Republicans. You don't like Republicans, okay? Now, in contrast, here is the account that I referenced earlier. Here's my bio. The pound for pound goat on the mic. A black belt and talking shit. Blowing up on YouTube. Jesse on fire. You're already late to the party. So it's like, this guy's really full of himself. And then you actually watch me, it's like a joke, Black belt and talking shit, just kind of clever because I talk about combat sports periodically, right? So that's my brand, right? And this psycho, in her one sentence bio, has I don't like Republicans in it. Okay? I don't like Republicans. And then posts a thing like this, which is this white lady would have been blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, you haven't figured out that you are the only person that resembles anyone in this picture at all? You know what I mean? Like, so your top, like if a real actual racist from back then maybe would have had something like in their bio, get these blacks out of here. Okay. My name's Karen. I am from the South and I do not like blacks, right? That's like the kind of thing that you would expect from this horrific nightmare of a human who's yelling at this black woman, right? So if anyone is similar to her, it's you fucking idiot. Okay. This is not even controversial. You are exactly what you pretend to be the virtuous side of. You lack all self-awareness, just like all of your compadres, as we're going to talk about later in this video. If you could stick it out, Stacey, I'm sure this is like acid in your ear. One thing I do like about having a big platform on YouTube is it is absolutely inevitable that pretty much anybody that I talk about is going to see the video. It is possible that someone like that lunatic is on such like far the other side of the internet that maybe that won't be the case. But just in case she does, okay, you are a delusional lunatic, sweetheart, okay? That picture's of you. That is a picture of you. Oh, geez, Republicans aren't an ethnicity. Republicans are a group of people you don't know, okay? Now, if you are smart enough to ask yourself the right questions, like, as an example, what do you think drives these toxic Republicans that you hate so much? Like, what does it for them? What's pushing the needle for them? Why do they care about this stuff? It's like, well, things like all of the things you probably care about, aside from it being important that drag queens read stories to my children, things like that. But, these are not going to be ideals that you disagree with, but you put all this malice and lunacy on. Like, the only thing I don't like about Democrats, or not all Democrats, but just leftists like her, is that they're toxic and gross. You know, like, just shut up, bitch. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? There's no one who's openly racist who's ever going on Joe Rogan. And there's no openly racist person who would ever be a hero to any of us, okay? Like, it's just dumb. It's completely not true. But you are actually a toxic psycho. So, right? The people calling names, you know, one of us is doing it accurately. The other one is a delusional fucking lunatic, you know? Now, bringing it all the way back to the beginning here, and this article, why MAGA is so obsessed with the Jeffrey Epstein files and what those updates are. So, Trump literally just said today that we are going to have them within a few weeks. And that's both the JFK files and the Epstein ones. They are going through the thousands of documents that were just dropped off. The FBI director I guess it would be the director of the field office in New York, who had tried to hold these files back, has been terminated. I would imagine potentially prosecuted. I don't know, but you would think that directly defying an order from the attorney general requesting, all the documents on one of the most horrific crimes ever committed by a group of people that didn't involve, well, actually, who knows what it involved. Like, if that's not prosecutable, I don't really know what is. But we're going to read through this story. The way that it's framed is hilarious too. And it'll help us get like to the full update of what's going on. Because they go through why everyone, why they're so mad at Trump's attorney general. Okay. Well, they're mad because she did something inexplicable, right? The thing with the binders, as we're going to go over in a second, okay? So proudly holding their shiny binders titled The Epstein Files Phase 1 outside the White House, MAGA influencers believed they had the real deal. Donald Trump's new attorney general, Pat Bondi, vowed to release the Epstein files after taking over the Justice Department, but the process had been hit with delays, excuses, and including claims that she was misled. So in a possible bid to get MAGA off her back, Bondi invited right-wing personalities, including commentator Liz Wheeler, Shaka Irach, blah, 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 blah. We all know this, right? And then they came, here are the Epstein files. Okay. Now, what's hilarious about this is if you really look at who was there, this is not the A-list at all. This is no offense to the people who were there. Like, they're doing great. And believe me, you invite me to the White House, I'm going. Even if it is to pick up a binder full of, like, stuff that was printed off the internet. Still cool. You get to go and be like, look at me. I have the Epstein files. It's like, all right, But nonetheless, this, in my opinion, was a very ill-advised stunt because what it honestly came off like to me, and for anybody who didn't know this, what was inside was just stuff printed off the internet. Everyone already knew. There was literally nothing new in the documents at all. And what it looked like to me was going off half-cocked, not really understanding who is behind, the internet moving part of the voting base that put him in office. Because we are pretty well informed, I mean, it's one of those things. People to varying degrees. Sometimes I marvel at some political commentators. By the way, I definitely do not consider myself a political commentator by any stretch. I'm just a person who just talks. Literally, I just talk about the things that are interesting to me. But some of the political commentators, I just marvel at. They are up to date on every single measure, all of the news stories, every little detail that's going on. It's wild to me, But everyone is up to date on the big stuff, right? Like what has been released with the Epstein files, because everyone wants to know which people who are part of the big show are a part of this horrific crime. It's like the ultimate validation that the people we thought are the bad guys are in fact really bad guys, And it's just one of those things. Now, I will say this though also, and a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to say right now, but I'm going to say it anyway. I actually don't think that we really want to see everything that is known about the Epstein files, and I'll tell you exactly why. Now, what's in those files, or the truth of this situation, is multiple things at once. Okay, they're facts this person was there doing this, if there's videos of crimes, if there are any form of truth of what kind of depraved things went on there, those are facts, but they are still multiple things at once. Okay. So let's say that you pick some senator that maybe you like, maybe you don't like. And the FBI has a file specifically on that person. There's a video of them, doing something violent to a kid, right? Like the kind of violence that you would get naked to do, right? And they got it on video. So that is a crime that, in my opinion, supersedes the whatever other reason that it could have to stay secret if it's just some senator, right? Like, just put them in prison. We should know about that. Put them in prison, dude. They hurt a kid, or like took it from a kid. Put them in prison, man. Right? But there are other people who might be in these files who are so powerful, okay, and can provide such an enormous amount of influence if you have the people that you trust able to twist them the way that we want them to go, okay? Because that leverage is as powerful as the person who holds it. So let's say, just as a total hypothetical, that Bill and Hillary Clinton were behind the Epstein thing, not in the way that people think where, oh, he got Bill Clinton, blackmailed because he has this on him. But hypothetically, let's say the Clintons were the ones behind this whole operation. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying as an example, okay? Well, you get a few people on tape, and now Hillary Clinton makes the decision on what they're going to do with their influence. So essentially, all of their power just became Hillary's, okay? That's why you do these things. Well, right now, the people who have that information are people I actually trust. The person running the White House and his team, I trust their motives right now. And the second that you release information from those files, like who is on those tapes and whatever, instantaneously the value of that information becomes zero. Okay? It's really like it's important to understand that value becomes non-existent. It's incredibly valuable as long as no one knows about it, because that is what causes the influence, because these people will do anything to have that information not come out. So what I'm saying is, I guarantee you that there is some stuff in the Epstein files that you do not want us to know about, because you would rather that the leadership of the country has access to that leverage on people who can really push and move things to make them happen. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, if someone hurts a kid, they belong in prison or in the ground. Simple as that. But maybe we twist them up a little bit first, get them to do the things that we want, and then we expose them and then bury them. It's like, oh, you're going to go back on the deal? You said we would never put that information out as long as they did blah, blah, blah. It's like, yep, we lied to a kitty diddler. We did. We misled them. We told them that if they did that they'd be clear. That wasn't true. We were always going to release it. But, one of those things, I watched a video of him, hanging a child. I don't know, man. I just didn't really feel like I needed to live up to my word in this one instance. First time I've ever broke my word, but or given some of my word knowing I was going to break it. First time for everything, but, it was a demon, not a human. So it is what it is. But yeah, whatever. Continuing on with the article, Jeffrey Epstein, a financier with a taste for the high life. What the fuck? What? That's how you describe this dude? A taste for the high life? A financier with a taste for the high life and his own private island was once a friend to the rich, famous, and powerful, counting residents, royals, Hollywood stars, and celebrity lawyers among his acquaintances. But he was also a child offender. Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess we could just mention that as an afterthought. In 2008, he was convicted in Florida of procuring a solicitation of a prostitute. In 2019, he was being held on charges of sex trafficking minors when he died in suicide in New York jail cell. That is an unbelievably misleading and dishonest way to characterize him, okay? He got convicted in Florida for procuring a child for prostitution. I'm sorry. Have you not looked into that case? Because he did that to about 200 children, okay? And he tricked them. He bait and switched them. Children. He got that deal because someone on high made a phone call to the attorney general in Florida and made sure that he got this little sweetheart deal, and he got to spend, 1 year in jail, and he got to come and go as he pleased, and no one was really enforcing it anyway, and so it was a fake sentence. Okay, so this is a taste for the high life. Oh, I'd been convicted of 1 child. They're still protecting these people, man. And they also said died by in a New York jail cell. Just reporting that like it's a fact. Died by killing himself. You guys know, of course, that's how he died. Anyone who suggests otherwise is a crazy person. None of the Epstein, quote, clients suspected of taking part in the sexual exploitation of girls and young women with him have ever been brought to justice. Only one person, his former confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, has ever been charged and convicted. So hopes were high that Bondi's release of the files would finally help expose a network of abusers who so far had escaped culpability. Turned out to be nothing more than a PR stunt because the binders mostly contained information already in public domain, and the farcical episode ignited even more rage on the right and some on the left as prominent MAGA commentators furiously lashed out on Elon Musk's X platform. Again, lashed out on Elon Musk's X platform. Don't use X because Elon owns it, guys. There's one person who takes the blame for what happened today. It's Pam Bondi. Okay, people were mad, right? So the saga has captivated the MAGA movement, and now the attorney general finds himself, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Listen to this. This is where you get into like paragraph. This is mind bending that they are really trying to do this. If you are interested in this, that makes you MAGA. Okay. This is like the most fascinating case ever. The Independent asked academics who have studied MAGA and conspiracy theories why the movement is so obsessed with the release of the documents. There are a couple of factors at play here, says John Kane, clinical associate of NYU School of Professional Studies Center of Global Affairs, citing what scholars call a conspiracy mentality. Essentially, this is a predisposition to believing that small groups of powerful people control virtually everything and keep the truth hidden from ordinary people. Epstein's status, horrific behavior, and shocking suicide thus lend themselves easily to a conspiracy. Another factor, Kane said, is that MAGA influencers and commentators are always in need of flammable content. Dude, are you kidding me? You're calling this a conspiracy theory? This is the most conspiracy fact that anyone has ever known about. And like, you're going to hide behind some kind of PhD or whatever? I don't know. They didn't list his credentials, but like, give me a break. You studied MAGA. We've studied MAGA, and it's like these guys are just totally conspiratorial minded. We uncovered the largest known to date blackmail ring that was leveraging child predator instincts in powerful people, and Bill Clinton and Bill Gates are two of his closest homeboys. Bill Gates' wife is telling you in plain English the reason she left Bill Gates is because of Jeffrey Epstein. And Bill can tell you more if he wants to. We're conspiracy theorists? It's ridiculous, man. The Epstein files represent a major story that no matter what the files say will allow for plenty of discussion and unrestrained speculation. But if no new files are released, it's like a fire being deprived of oxygen. There are 2 prominent voices on the left calling for the files to be released. Oh, wow. And taking opportunity to tie Trump to this exhibit, of course. Senate Judiciary Democrats posted on X that the delay is part of a bigger pattern of years of entanglement between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, of course. He's never been accused of wrongdoing, yada, yada, yada. Any attempts to link Trump to Epstein won't matter to MAGA, the experts explained. This is the power of what researchers call partisan motivated reasoning. The Epstein files will not determine how MAGA evaluates Trump. Rather, the support for Trump will determine how they evaluate the Epstein files. Oh my God. Can I can I point you over here? Hey, how do you think she's going to evaluate them with her derangement syndrome? Anyway, that's enough. I am going to Cancun. That is why I look like this. So we will be out of the country for a week. I'm going to still be posting periodically, but it will not be as often this week. But I will definitely be live streaming from my hotel room, but probably not tomorrow, Monday. So, or I guess that you guys will probably see this today. So actually, you guys are going to get videos today because you're going to be watching this today. So anyway, I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Bye-bye.